What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Just Like Smith channel. In today's video, we're going to be installing the Billetron 38 from Lectron Fuel Systems onto a 2015 YZ250. This is my 2015 YZ250 that we're going to be working on here on the channel. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into this video and show you how to install this thing, and then we're going to go ahead and get a first startup and tell you what we think about it compared to the first startup I ever had with this bike versus the Lectron. And then of course in a future video we're going to do a Lectron review video and actually talk about the differences that I noticed out on the track with the carburetor versus the Lectron, throttle response, stuff like that. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and tear this thing apart and go ahead and install the Lectron Billetron 38. Link will be in the description box down below where you can pick up this fuel system. So again, huge shout out to Lectron Fuel Systems for making this video possible for you guys, and enjoy. So we're gonna go ahead and start out removing the seat. Gonna be 2 bolts on each side. Come on guys, you know how to remove your seat. Gonna go ahead and pop this gas tank off next. There's gonna be 2 10mm holding the radiator shrouds on, so 1 10mm on each side. And then I like to use an extension to get in here to this gas tank bolt. Don't forget that rubber strap that you just see me pull right there on the back of the tank. Pull that tank off after you disconnect the fuel line, obviously, and now we are going to pull the whole subframe. I know some people just flip the subframe up, but it's just 1 extra bolt, and I hate fighting with the exhaust whenever you only pull the side bolts, so I just go ahead and pull the whole thing. Got a Phillips head on the boot and pull the entire subframe straight off with the slip-on silencer and everything. Super easy. Now we're going to go ahead and disconnect the throttle position sensor plugs and pull the Phillips head screw, and now the carburetor should be ready to come out. Gonna go ahead and pull the top cap so we can get the slide and the throttle cable out of the carburetor. Slide that right out. Now, after you fight with it for 20 minutes, you can get this carburetor out. Gonna go ahead and pick up on the slide, and you want to compress this spring and be super careful with the plastic piece that's on the end of this. After you pull that cord out, it will shoot a mile like that one just did. So wear you some safety glasses. So right there's the little plastic cap that I was telling you about that shot all the way across the garage. And now you just want to take an 8mm opening wrench, break that lock nut loose, and now we can go ahead and pull off the top cap off of the throttle cable. Then you can remove that lock nut completely, and we will be ready to put on the Billetron top cap. But first we have to fight with this TPMS wire. Thank you Yamaha for running the wiring through the engine mount. So I did have to take the other side of the engine mount off. Now we're going to go ahead and electrical tape up these connections so you don't get any water or anything weird in there. Don't want mud and water getting in your connections that aren't going to be used with the Lectron. So wrap those up with some electrical tape, and then you're going to go ahead and run them up along the frame real clean. Put that boot back over them and zip tie it to where it won't even be visible once the tank goes back on. Looks super clean. Don't forget to cut your zip tie ends. Alright, so go ahead and slide that throttle cable through into the Billetron top cap and thread that baby on. Drop on your seal, gasket, whatever you want to call it. And now we're ready to slide the spring on and then drop the throttle cable into the slide, and then let that spring go down into the slide. Make sure it's all smooth and not jumbled up in there. Now we can carefully place that in there and go ahead and put the Allen heads on the top Now right here on the slide, this needs to be an 1/8 inch. You can adjust that on the top of the handlebars if needed. I'm gonna go ahead and try to fit this big Billetron in here. It does fit, I would say probably better than the factory carburetor because it doesn't have that big sensor on the side of it. Tighten up your boot, and now we're gonna go ahead and put this thing back together in reverse of how we took it apart. Alright, and just like that, we have the Lectron Fuel System Billetron installed. I'm just going to call this the Billetron from here on out. So we've got the Billetron installed, and we're about to do the first startup. I don't want to smoke the shop up too much, even though I love how it smells, but we just now turned the fuel on, and we're going to try to do the first startup right here, so let's go. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and fuel's on. I'm going to pull the choke. I don't know if I need the choke. It is like 50 degrees in the shop, so I don't know if I need the choke or not. But I'm gonna try it without the choke. I also don't know if I have to give it gas. It idles. It didn't used to idle before with the carburetor. I know I could have played around with it and made it better and got it to idle, but it didn't idle before. And now with no modifications, I just slapped it in there. It's idling just fine. So, like I said, without smoking up the garage too much, I can't let it run super long. But just right there, I could notice the throttle response was better. It said that you only want an 1/8 inch of play in that slide. Like, whenever the slide is sitting there, you only want it to be an 1/8 inch. And then you adjust that up here if it's more or less, I guess. But this feels like kind of sloppy, so I'm gonna tighten that up a little bit, and then I'll have to check that clearance again and make sure that's all good, so then I don't cause a problem trying to fix a problem. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Again, huge shout out to Lectron Fuel Systems for making this video possible. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Drop me a thumbs up or any questions, comments, concerns in the comment section down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for the review video where we're going to take this thing to the local track and get some GoPro footage, some drone footage, some third-person footage, and then of course do like kind of an interview of me pretty much just going over my thoughts and opinions on the Lectron and how big of a difference it made. So, like I say at the end of every single video, guys, always remember, everybody starts out as nobody, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Big Lectron guy. So I know that I already ended out the video, but I just now rode this thing up the road, guys, and stay tuned for the video at the track because we've got a lot to talk about. I will go ahead and say right now I'm super, super happy with this, and I'm not going to say why just yet, but it made a huge difference, and stay tuned for the next video on the YZ reviewing the Lectron Billetron.